The fundamental service in investment management specifically is to create and manage investment portfolios to help clients achieve their investment goals, their financial goals. So I mentioned one financial goal might be providing for retirement. Another financial goal might be preserving the endowment of a university. In order to do that, investment managers have to take into consideration how much is being saved, when the money is needed, how much is going to be needed, as well as what securities are going to make for good investments. You may hear the term asset class. Now, asset classes are a grouping of securities that behave kind of similarly. They're the ingredients that make up the template for an investment portfolio. Experience of being a Black woman on Wall Street. I can talk about my experience as a Black woman on Wall Street when I first started, but I would be dating myself. And so I think it might be helpful for our students to hear about your more recent experience being a Black woman in this industry.
Yeah, and I would say we've obviously made a lot of progress, but we still have a lot of ways to go. I think it's somewhat of a double-edged sword. I think there are a lot of times where it can feel very othering. At my firm, I'm the sole Black female investor, and that can sometimes be an isolating experience. I think on the other side, I stand out in every single room, and there's opportunity to take advantage of that. And certainly it pushes me to be the most prepared because it's hard to blend in. And I think that that can work to your advantage. And I think over time, and just to touch back on Ken's answer as well, like the people on this panel are people I admire and look up to. And I hope that one day I go from being on the wanting mentorship to being an advocate. And I think that's a point of like wanting to continue pursuing in this field despite the sometimes isolating experience.
Fixed income perspective, what does a fixed income person do that's different from an equity person?
Yeah, that's. I'm happy to speak to that. I think one of the key differences, fixed income investors are, and for the students, lenders of capital. We expect to get paid back. As an equity investor, you are an owner of capital, and so you hope to get paid back. There's just a different risk level. Right. There's a little bit greater upside with that greater risk level on the equity side. On the bond side, what's interesting, and there's a place for all of these investments, and what Michelle mentioned earlier, having the proper asset allocation mix. So when you're thinking about returns on the equity side or fixed income side, it really comes down to how does these investments fit in your total portfolio.